What?
It's good for audio.
It's good for audio.
Yep.
This is the way we do it. Oh, shit. I wouldn't mind, I think, picking up that Glock 34 uh, clone. I forget what number that is. But it's got a bigger comp on it.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty well over the buying any more Glocks
Yeah.
until they start coming out with models from the factory that are comp, which they're gonna have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they need to catch up to that market, but I think maybe that with a comp and then a decent dot. I mean, you could run open division in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could almost be a good gun for Steel Challenge. You know, nice comp, a heavy minor load, gassy.
Mm.
That'd be all right. Send them to a message, tell them one of them can pull it up and let it play.
Okay.
Hope that play timeout. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you're clicking in here, I see we picked somebody up. How you doing? Garlist or Gorlist, I apologize. Yeah, this is America, man. Sunday afternoon, middle of winter, ain't shit to do. Figured we pop up and do a quick live. So thanks for jumping in. You're actually the first one to jump in. Are you able to hear me? Is the sound picking up okay? We're from America, man. I'd love to say hi to you and pronounce your name. Boy, who's it? I don't know how to say it, man. I'm assuming it's just something for fun. Cool, I appreciate it. Any questions? I mean, we'd go through it. You guys are the first couple ones to jump on here. So every time we do a live, I get a lot of people asking questions about, hey, do you own this? Do you own that? Do you own this? My last live, I had questions about 1911s, so I only got 3 of them, so I popped them on here. I had a question about an AK, so I popped the AK on here. And I had some questions if I owned bullpups, so we popped one of them on here. So, where are you guys from? Why don't you shut that door? Please, thank you. Cali. So curiosity, I'm not sure, obviously in Cali where you're at, but right now for us, it's 10 degrees outside and about 2 feet of snow on the ground. Janeth, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Haven't I heard what? Colin. Cobra Kai never dies. My snow is like 7 feet tall around here. Where are you at? Mist Place? We usually have a lot more snow this time of year. I mean, you go outside, even in the city in your backyard, it's usually waist deep, so 3, 4 feet deep. But we've had a really, really weird winter. We didn't get much snow yet. It's coming. You can almost count on that, Western New York. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys get that lake effect snow. So I saw somebody say they were hitting the slopes. I think I can't see it. But what slopes do you hit? Snowboard, skis? Uh, kind of type of skiing do you do? But yeah, I think that 34 with the comp would be cat's ass.
Yeah.
And I'll be curious to see how that all compares to that Zev Hyper comp. Ammo Alchemist, how are you doing? Getting that Sunday live in, them play hours up. I mean, this isn't everything I own. 2 hazards in a row. Also, please don't dox me ammo. Take it you know Ammo Alchemist. Yeah, man, I got a couple guns. That's a lifelong obsession when poor decision making. Part of it, ammo is I like to shoot different stuff. I like to experiment. I like to, it's like college days. I just want to experiment, right? But I'll buy something to check it out, and sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. If it's something I can use for competition, I'll stick with that gun for a while until I get bored. And a lot of people, they'll sell a gun and go buy something else. Well, I don't sell them. I like to come back to them. So, yeah, everything you see here is real. So, ammo, we got 2,600 rounds now through that Shadow Systems. We put another 600 rounds through it last night. If you want to weaponize farts, you got to get yourself an American Bulldog. So I can't give you a better look, anything that's on the table in a live. But if you click into the channel, like 3 minutes before I popped this live, I did do a close up on these guns. So the gun with the green grips there, it's just a 22. It's just a GSG 1911 22. The other two 1911s up there are both 45 ACP. But I bought that the GSG for my oldest son. Oh man, 15 years ago. No, it wasn't even that long ago. Maybe 10 years ago. I think he was like 13, and he liked it. He shot a little bit, but then I picked up a new 22 revolver that had 2 barrels, so he could shoot 22 mags or 22 long, and he liked that. And he suggested a trade, which I would have just given it to him, but because he wanted to trade it, I traded it, and I have that 22. It's kind of a fun gun to shoot. Cheapest pistol I think is reliable. I mean, you can buy a high point and they work. That's a pretty affordable firearm. They're not much to look at. They're not the most fun. So that the Ruger revolver, it's a convertible, so it's got 22 long rifle or 22 magnums. You just change out the cylinder. They jam if you don't shoot them right. So if you limp wrist the gun because it's a big chunky slide, then yeah, they jam. But I'll be honest, I see a lot of people run high points and they don't have a lot of problems with them. The older ones they had more problems with, but the newer ones they work. You just have to swallow your pride when you shoot them. Bentley, what's going on? Oil up big, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta put the oil on them. I'll be honest though, I'm not a big one for firearm oil. Oil on a firearm works great for a preservative, but if you really want your stuff to run, um, run a good grease, a good shooter's choice grease. That's what I run almost exclusively in every firearm I own. Uh, I live in a northern climate, so it gets cold as hell here. And 17C, I'm not familiar with the 17C. Obviously, the C would stand for comp, but I didn't know they made a 17C. That's something new. Big boys, I appreciate it. Hey, if you leave one of the comments in the short, like go to the short for today's live, just put in there that you subbed. I'll go to your channel. I'll sub back. 33 degrees, yeah. That's a heat wave. I'd take 33 degrees right now. I have ARs. It's just they're not out today. I have like 12 of them. So when I do lives, I always got people asking, hey, do you have this or do you have that? And that's usually what I'll put in the next live. These are all things I was asked about. The zombie grips were made by Hogue. I don't know if they sell them anymore. So like I said a minute ago, I bought that gun like 12, 13 years ago for my oldest. Uh, and that was like the big Walking Dead days. There was all these zombie shows and he liked it. I absolutely have a 50 cal and there's videos on my channel. I have a Barrett M82 Furf. Let's see if I say that right. Furfur, maybe? I think I said that right. I do like the shadow systems. That's a new gun for me. We shot it again last night, and I officially put 2,600 rounds through it in about the last 3.5 weeks. I will report that we've had zero malfunctions, zero feed issues, zero anything. The only issue I had, and it was my fault, it was some ammunition that I had that are known hard primers. And generally in striker fired guns, I have issues with that. And that issue was there. I was curious if we'd have them or not. And we did. They were about 90% uh, effective. You tried any less? I got three big American Bulldogs, man. That's about as less lethal as I'm going. I mean, my puppy here, he's about 130 pounds. So that's less lethal to me. I'll just let him chew on them. What do you shoot? I I would have to beg my dogs to let me shoot them. So, but what I have for home defense gun, and I'm assuming that's what you really want to know. I have a Smith and Wesson. Um, I'm sorry, I apologize. That's my car gun. It's a Taurus, 7-shot, 357 Magnum, little snubby. It's like a 2-inch barrel on it. Uh, 7-shot revolver. I think that's pretty effective. I can leave it loaded indefinitely. It's put in a safe spot, so I don't have to worry about magazines. Um, it's 357 Magnum. It'll get the job done. I have in there 158 grain plus P Hydroshocks. So an old school bullet, but it's a beefy round. I don't know what a TR-50 is. Um, I know what a G9 Taurus is. Uh, oh, it's a paintball. The TR-50 is a paintball gun, right? Is that what I'm seeing?
What's a 50 cal paintball pistol revolver?
Huh. Oh, G9 ammo, that's that RIP ammo. Now I know what you're talking about. Uh, I don't know that I would have a use for it. I can't pick any guns up. During a live, they'll shut me down within seconds. But if you would like to see that a little more, I did a short just before I published the live, and I showed the gun just a little bit better. I know a lot of people run that G9 ammo. For me, I'm gonna stick with something conventional, um, mainly because I have it. I have quite a bit of it. I've had it for years. I've shot it quite a bit. I've um, used it to dispatch a lot of animals, so I have confidence in it. I know there's more modern ammo that, I mean, it does the same job. Something can only be so dead, right? Dead is dead. So what's going on with the handguard? That's a Troy Alpha Rail, and the tan pieces in there, they're rubber inserts. So if you ever shoot rifles, AKs or AR-15s, a metal forearm gets extremely hot, right? You burn your hand going into about the second magazine of rapid fire. So them are a high heat insert that keeps you from coming in contact with the metal. So where you're burning your hand, I can continue to fire. I mean, we've put about 8 rounds consecutively through the gun and still been able to hold on to the forearm. Now, as soon as we touched the metal on it, we burnt the shit out of our hand. I have no Springfields up here. I have three 1911s. One's a GSG, one's a Viking Combat, and one's a Colt. And then the polymer gun on the left-hand side is a
Hellion.
Shadow Systems. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, I didn't read it. Yes, that's a Springfield Hellion. I apologize. I didn't read your whole message. They're so much more expensive than pistols. It depends on what you mean by an old revolver, the style, like a single action type, um, or what type of handguns you're comparing it to. Like any of the modern single action cowboy style firearms, they're $1,000 or less. Yep, it's a Ruger single six convertible. So I have both cylinders for it, so I can shoot 22 Magnum and or 22. Well, the Colt, so, you'd have to tell me really what kind of old revolvers you're talking about. If you're talking like the Colt Pythons or stuff like that, or the single action type revolvers. Your non-friendly neighbor. Good, Gorlist. Well, Gorlist, welcome. I don't know. D-Dog, what's going on? Like old westerns, so that the old western ones would be a single action. To get an original like early Colt, yeah, you're gonna pay out the ass. But there's some really great modern reproductions. Ruger makes some. Um, Uberde makes some. And them are actually classy. There's another company. Uh, I want to say it's Traditions. They make some really cool, old school firearms. No, I'm not from Minnesota. Do I sound like I'm from Minnesota? So D-Dog, we got 2,600 rounds through that Shadow Systems now. Uh, George, good to see you. Um, and it's run so far. I tried some ammo last night that actually them foreign primers I was telling you about. They're a hard primer. Remember me saying they probably wouldn't from Wisconsin, correct? Um, Remember I told you they probably wouldn't pop in striker fires, and About 90% of them popped. The ones that wouldn't, you just clear out. We reran them, they popped. So primers were hard. Other than that, uh, the gun run has run 100% successful. We haven't had a single feed issue, single failure to extract or eject, nothing. Guns ran, and it's not like I'm comfortable talking about it now. We got enough rounds through it, but it shoots right to point of aim. It's a striker fired trigger, so as soon as you realize it's striker fired trigger and stop shooting it like a CZ, it shoots right where it's supposed to each and every time. It's actually fairly consistent. Um, Looking forward to being able to get out when it's warm and put it on a rest and see what we can actually get for accuracy on it. So the comp, it still has muzzle flip. It's a small comp, but it it does significantly help. I would have liked to have got some footage last night, and I'll bet you in this, what is it, like a eight bay indoor range? I'll bet you there was 40 or 50 people in there. Every lane had 4 or 5 people shooting in it, rotating through. So it wasn't really possible to get any footage. Uh, so we didn't. How do you like that XR 920? That's the full size, correct? That's what the XR means, full size. The shadow system numbers and stuff are new to me. I'm not real uh, familiar with it. So I think yeah, I'm pretty sure. Daily backflip. Yeah, it. So I did have we were using CFE, uh, and it was a heavy load. Uh, I can go find out what the loads were if you really want to know, but it definitely was throwing. You could see it through a really cool flame up from the comp. Um, I should have taken a regular Glock with me and compared it, but there is benefit. It does work. It doesn't work as good as a big monster comp like on the Parrot or the Checkmate or something, but there was benefit to it. I strongly believe my daughter's really gonna like it. Um, we were shooting the DWX too, and I actually lost a screw. It backed out for the plate that holds the iron sight on, so we stopped shooting that, and that's why we put so many rounds through the shadow system yesterday. But now I got to find another screw or just buy a dot for it. A lot of people like the single action revolvers. My oldest, that's his absolute favorite gun in the world. Anything revolver, single action, and but I think part of that's what he started shooting on when he was like 5 years old. Um, my middle son here, you like single action revolvers too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun to shoot. It's cool to shoot them because you get a lot of engagement with the gun. It's not just load a magazine, cycle the action, pull the trigger 15 times, and you're done. You get to manually cock it each time, and it makes it a little bit more fun to shoot. I know I should, but man, that thing, it's a tack driver without it, you know? And it's going to get a dot. That's going to be a limited optics gun, but I'm trying, I'm trying not to get too focused on that right now because I'm running my checkmate again this year. And if I put a dot on it, I'm going to set them checkmates aside and I'm not going to pick them up again. But the DWX is a really, really nice shooting gun. Phenomenal. Super accurate. Yeah, so J and K, you have that. I was just on your channel. You have the TSO2. So for the checkmate, I have two of them. I need to um, send them out. So what I need to do, because I'm left-handed, I want to get it cut for a gas pedal on the right side, and I've been putting it off for over a year. I shoot them the way they are, and I want to change the comp to one of the Siebel custom weaponry comps. They come from Czechoslovakia. Uh, it's just a little bit different design than what the Checkmate has, And when I send the gun out, I want to get some popple holes put into the barrel. Uh, and it's just, I'm lazy. I don't know. I don't like sending stuff out. As far as the TS2, Tactical Sport Orange 2, man, the gun needs nothing. Uh, it the trigger's right. The only thing I would change maybe on the Tactical Sport Orange 2, and I changed the same part on my Checkmates already, and I changed the same part on my Tactical Sport Orange, was I changed the magazine release spring. I went to a lighter spring, um, and that's mainly because I'm left-handed, and I use my trigger finger to release it, so I don't have as much leverage as a right-handed shooter would, and it's a cheap part, so that's just something I generally change out. Adam, I unfortunately I don't know you, man. Um, I only have a couple moderators on my channel, um, so unless I know you, I'm not giving somebody control of my channel. But J and K, you know, I we've shot quite a bit with it, and what we use is I'll either shoot an RMR 124 or we'll shoot a Barry's 124, uh, and we reload our own ammo. But generally, across the board, even factory ammunition, the 124s seem to shoot the most accurate and the most consistent. Yeah, well, don't take it too much because I actually have two of them. I have the one in 9mm, and then I have one in 40 cal. And my oldest son, that's what he runs. That's why I bought the 40 cal. So he'll use it for a steel challenge, and then he'll shoot it for USPSA. Um, I'm still, I guess, his sponsor. They're my guns. I bought them. They're in my safe. But when he comes and shoots competition with us, or we go to the range and go play, that's what he shoots. I wish that it had a gas pedal on the right hand side. When I do shoot the gun, I remove the gas pedal. I have shot a few matches with it, but I do really enjoy the Tactical Sport Orange too. You were saying that the other day, George. Um, Yeah, I think I think the 40 cal, the Tactical Sport Orange 2 is a little better for the 40. It's a little heavier gun. Uh, if I had been able to get the TSO in 40, that's what I would have bought in, but I wasn't I wasn't able to. Uh, and that's kind of why I bought the Tactical Sport Orange 2 and 9.2. I couldn't get the 40. And after I got the 9mm, then they got a 40. So I bought that one too. Yeah, I have a lot of CZs. J and K, if you're interested, there's a comment just above you, from D Dog Tactical. He's another big CZ fan. He's got some really cool stuff. If you would check his channel out, give him a subscribe. Um, and D Dog too, J and K Noob there right below you. He's got some stuff going on. He's picked up a Tactical Sport Orange 2 that he's out playing with. It's funny watching his face because I mean we all know how CZs are. They're great guns, and he's getting all kinds of excited about shooting it. So, are you- isn't that 1911 10mm? Your Kimber? Is that what you're talking about? I thought it was 10mm. Maybe I'm wrong. Cool, man. I appreciate you subbing to him. So J and K, hopefully you're still here. You might be jumping over to his channel real quick. But what's your next CZ purchase? Because nobody I know has just one CZ. They turn into a whole big obsession. He must he must be George, I appreciate it, man. D Dog Tactical does good stuff. He's got some cool stuff. His channel is definitely underviewed and undersubscribed. So I've been trying I've been trying to help him out with that for a good amount of time. And I wouldn't do it for just anybody. Uh, but he's got some cool stuff going on. And I love his parrot. I got a little bro love on that. Shane, welcome to see you. Hunting season in my state, which is Wisconsin, our next big thing will be spring turkey hunt. Let's check out real quick. All right, yeah. Well, it's D space dog tactical. You can do a search on it; it'll pop up. Yeah. Have I been helping you out at all? Or are you actually getting subs from your videos? Which you should be. You're putting out a lot of good content. We're gonna get you to 1,000 though, man. I'm confident that by spring we're gonna get you to 1,000 one way or another. We may have to do some joint on it, joint live or something. But yeah, George, we got spring turkey hunt that starts here in March, and it goes to May, I believe. And then there's not much hunting. People right now they're shooting fox and coyotes. It's a good time of year for that. There's a lot of trapping going on. A lot of people trap out in the marshes doing, you know, basically whatever they get a hold of in a trap. But spring turkey hunt's kind of the next big thing that everybody gets excited about. That's great. That's what you got to do is keep feeding that algorithm. I mean, nobody likes doing them stupid sound clips in the shorts. Yeah, George, he does USPSA. We have a bunch of that on mine too. That's what I like to actually show is myself and my kids out shooting either Steel Challenge or USPSA. But D-Dog, yeah, he's got a lot of videos on his. I appreciate. We'll see you in a second then. So what are your plans for that Tactical Sport Orange 2? Are you going to you gonna show up on match day? You gonna start shooting some USPSA? I mean, I would assume that you have an interest in it if you're buying the guns for it. Cindy, how are you doing? Well, the trick to getting out of the dog house when you buy firearms is to keep buying them, and eventually they quit noticing them that they're new. I could come home with a brand new gun, stick it in my wife's face, and she wouldn't know it's new. CR, I appreciate it. That was one of the first firearms I built. When I started working on that when I was in school for machine tool and the millwork and stuff on there. I had to mill out for the sights. I had to do the slide serrations, the front sight. That was all stuff I did for school. That was what kind of got me started. I was already started in USPSA shooting, and I bought that gun as a stock gun, and then I did all the millwork, and that got me started in building custom guns, and it got me started in gunsmithing as a whole. None of the guns are for sale. These are my personal firearms. I'd be curious to see how that works. Must have had to shorten it up a little bit and just rechamber it, right? Probably take a little bit off the breech to be able to get um, a proper head spacing. Well, J and K, you may not have plans for it, but if you like shooting fast and not hitting anything, it's way, way, way more fun to do it during USPSA, and it'll make you an incredible shooter. You get some skills really, really fast doing that. So if you haven't thought about it, maybe consider it. If you want help finding matches and stuff, I would help you out. I'd tell you where to go and look. Or D Dog too, man. He can tell you how to find matches. But what state are you in? Just curious. Because if you're close, I mean, it can just help you out. Remember time I was the live stream the other day. You said I was being mean. I wasn't. I'm not sure unless you're talking to D Dog, Idaho. We used to make a joke about Idaho. This is years ago. We used to go, "Who's the hoe? You the hoe. I'm not the hoe. Idaho." I know it sounds kind of lame, but it used to be funny as hell. I had a cousin in the town we live on. He lived on Idaho. And he'd be like, "Hey, man, can you give me a ride home? Where you got to go to Idaho? You the hoe?" But yeah, Idaho, um, they have USPSA everywhere. If you look up, it's called Practice Score. Um, they'll give you ways to find local matches. That's kind of the universal thing. Just about every firearms club that holds any kind of competition uh, publish their stuff there. And so you can go to Practice Score, put in your state, and find matches. So the shadow system I've had it for, I don't know, 3 weeks now, maybe a month. I don't know. Got it right about Christmas time, so it's been longer than that. But we just hit last night. We hit 2,600 rounds through the gun. I haven't said much about the gun. I showed it when I first got it briefly, uh, but it's run 100%. I have not had a single malfunction of any type. No misfeeds. No um, failure to ejects. No failure to extracts. Uh, it's been 100%. With the exception, I had some ammunition last night that I knew I would have a problem with in striker fired guns. Every Glock I have has always had issue with that ammo, and this is of no exception. Um, but absolutely, the firearm itself has been successful. I can't blame uh, ammunition that I knew it wasn't going to run as a malfunction of any type that was non-firearm related. Nicholas, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get what he's saying there, George. Yeah, get out and do your rounds. I'll be honest. I mean, I don't really have anything real expensive on the table right now, but if you saw some of the stuff I own, and then the fact I'm speaking highly of it, I hope it says something about the gun. Uh, I have enjoyed shooting it. It's been accurate. It's been reliable. Um, it is a polymer striker firearm. So J&K with the 124s, I buy bullets, right? I either buy the RMR 124s, which if you're gonna get into reloading, that's a great buy, or Barry's 124. And then I like to load it on top of either Tight Group. We've been burning a lot of CFE. I'll use HS6, uh, but Tight Group is usually my go-to for a standard 9mm cartridge. We have shot Uh, the brown enamel in a 124, that stuff was very accurate and consistent. And then we shot some UMC in 124. That two, them were probably our two when we were testing ammo, were the two top um, factory manufactured cartridges that were very accurate and very consistent, had very consistent velocity. I did have some 124 Browning that it was a little hot. The stuff was running a little fast, but it still shot really, really well. Uh, I don't know what else did we have in 124. We tried. I know we had at one point. I bought basically every type of factory ammunition out there, and we ran it just to test. Um, I would have to go back in our data because we record all the stuff in a book. If you want to get into loading for a pistol, the cheapest way to do that would be like one of the Lee 4000s. It's a turret press, and it's a good press for pistol cartridges. Maybe not the best for rifle, but if you're going to just load for your pistol, that's the press to get. So we did try some Federal Syntech. We had 135 and I think 150. Why don't you go find that book? You know where it is?
Not really.
Scratch that.
Okay.
The Federal Syntech, a lot of people use it for USPSA. I have not had great success with it compared to other types. Joanna, it's good to see you. How'd your work go? Or Jonah, I'm sorry. Well, it's all right to have nukes, I guess. The Blazer's good ammo for just putting down range. It's good match ammo. It's accurate enough. It's reliable enough, and the price is affordable. George, don't even sweat it. Nobody's busting your balls for that. Um, they're just trying to keep me safe too. Uh, so I appreciate D-Dog standing on a little. Yeah, we're all good, man. Living the dream. Trying to get some watch hours up and have a chat. My son and I were just sitting here chatting before we started this and watching stupid YouTube videos. We're like, well, shit, we might as well pop a live and just do our thing. Well, I guess I don't know what to say if the FBI showed up. I mean, they're great people, right? Providing a a vital service. Greetings from Germany. How are you doing, Donkey Shay? So the thing with that Syntech ammo, J&K, is it's actually a approved USPSA load. So when you show up to a match, if you're running that Syntech, they don't make you go through the whole safety thing with the big matches. The VHS I like. The only thing I'm going to say negative about that firearm at all is the trigger sucks. There is a company out there, I think it's Black Talon, maybe. They're going to provide a trigger service. They had a booth at SHOT Show, and they do have like 2 videos on a channel. So as soon as they're up and running, that gun will be getting sent out. Addicted to Family Guy. Are you talking full automatic or semi-automatic? Everything on the table is semi-automatic.
Revolver.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the revolver's not semi-automatic. The bullpup is a Springfield Hellion. It's a Croatian VHS. The Iraqi army actually adopted that as their standard service rifle. The Croatian army uses it for a service rifle. Yeah, I own a few. The Panzer shotguns, they're Turkish made. I I know a lot of people buy them, and I think a lot of people say they work. From my experience, it's hard to believe that a $300 shotgun is gonna survive. I do not have any PKMs. You can probably buy a semi-automatic PKM, but the full auto PKM for transferable is just like uh, Jonah says, is going to be in excess of 30 grand. Oh, maybe outside the U.S. I guess I wouldn't question that if we're outside the U.S. So maybe tell me where. The 40 Super, yeah, I've heard of it. If you're gonna go with the 40 Super, you might as well go to a 357 SIG. That's a 40 cartridge case knocked down to a .356 projectile or a 9mm projectile, and it's faster than a 40 Super. Um, so the only one I could say anything about that way would be the GSG, and that was sub $400. The other two were both guns that I built. So the 1911 in the middle started life as just a Colt Series 80. Yeah, we're good. Just 10mm would be the way to go. Started life as a Series 80. I bought it new. I stripped the gun down. I did the machine work in school. I fit a barrel, bushing, trigger. Uh, you know the I did the work for the grip safety to be able to put that upswept grip safety on there. Um, so 11's 10mm, right? The Kimber. So in America, you can have pretty much anything you want as long as you do the paperwork. If you want to have a full auto machine gun, it has to be, if you're a civilian, it has to be what's called a pre-May 1986 example or sample. Uh, in May of 1986, they banned machine gun sales. So the guns that existed before that are grandfathered in. You can buy and sell them. There's paperwork, but you can't have anything past May of 1986 as a civilian. Now, if you're a manufacturer, if you're law enforcement or something like that, you can have them. And like to buy a full auto M16, if you're able to legally buy that, and it's, you know, and your dealer or your law enforcement, they're the same price as a regular AR-15. But if as a civilian you want one and you want to be able to do the paperwork and transfer it, that same M16 that's now from 1986 or older is 30,000 plus. So the Tony Systems, I have one of their inverted optic mounts on one of my checkmates, uh, and that's great. It's a great mount on a tactical sport orange too. Uh, I guess if you're just playing at home, then yeah, absolutely, that would probably work good for you. The frame mounted. If you ever want to shoot any competition with it, though, you're gonna have to remove the rear sight and put a plate on it, and then shoot something off the sight. And that's only because of how that what divisions that gun would be legal in. If you did a frame mounted optic like the Tony systems, you would be shooting in an open division. So that's the same division that like the Checkmates or the Parrots or the Masterpiece Arms 2011s or all that stuff goes. Them are the guns with the big compensators and all that. So, but at home playing, yeah, it would be an affordable setup. I'm a freedom loving American. Um, how do you overcome it? So this is what I would suggest, right? If you have the option or ability to shoot outdoors, that would be step one. Step two would be using earplugs and ear muffs to muffle the sound of the firearm as much as you possibly could. And then I would say start with a 22. And you have to really focus at it. You know, don't flinch when you pull the trigger. Force your eyes to stay open, um, and work on it that way. I don't own a Model 97. So during competitions with my pistol that I use, yes, I wear earplugs and earmuffs. It's an extremely loud gun. The only other firearm I own that I shoot earplugs and muffs with is my Barrett, and that too, it's really loud. Well, check out the live from Friday. I had a Beretta 92 FS in there, and then I had a gold-ish looking Beretta clone in there too. I love Triangle, man. Hit the subscribe button if you would. Check out D-Dog Tactical's channel. Uh, give him a subscribe too. Ask questions. Come in the channels and ask questions. We'll help you out. We'll get you there, man. The Beretta 92 is a great gun for um, right-handed shooters. If you're left-handed, it's not. It's not the best firearm. That's gonna make I relate the field recoil without danger. A lot of people that I know shoot airsoft in practice, kind of like dry fire, uh, and you get the higher end green gas guns, and I mean you're getting recoil out of it, you're getting slide movement. I personally have never played with them very much, but I do know people do use that. David, I appreciate your subscribe. I appreciate you letting me know. If you leave a comment in one of my videos, tell me that you were here in the live and that you went ahead and subscribed. I will return the favor. I'll subscribe to your channel. Um, I don't know what you mean, fight like a real man. I mean, if you wanna find out, I'm cool. I'm all about hitting somebody in their mouth. Guns don't make you more manly. Firearms, it should be enjoyable. I enjoy shooting. My kids enjoy shooting. Um, yeah, I don't know if the Tony Systems gas pedals are bigger than the factory TSO2 one. I mean, it's a pretty big gas pedal. Um, we're in Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean, RPGs could take out armored cars. I think that's kind of the purpose of them. Yeah, there's a lot of different ear protection designed for firearms. However, any good earmuffs, uh, like if I don't know where you're at, but like a Menards or a Fleet Farm, a Home Depot, if you go in there and buy their earmuffs, they all work the same. They just muffle the sound. Myself, I like Peltor earmuffs. Um, that's what I prefer. Otherwise, for earplugs, any good earplug works really well. Just don't think you're using your earbuds and they're going to provide any kind of sound dampening or protection. Uh, have to come on, just buy a sight pusher. I have guns because I can own guns. I'm an American. I'm free, white, and over 21 with no criminal convictions, which means I'm legally allowed to own, possess, and enjoy them. I don't know which one you think has a green tip. Oh, the green grip. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. That's just a 22. It's a GSG. It's a German sport guns, and it's a 22 long rifle. The green grip that's on it came from Hogue. I don't know if they still make them or not. I've had that for a little while. Where are you at, Ghost? He dropped ass, didn't he? A stinky bastard. Ugh. That's like a war crime.
Yeah. I mean, if that guy who's talking about weaponizing his far's still in here, that is why you get American Bulldogs.
Oh, God, my eyes are burning. Fuck. Oh. You're in the Middle East. We're in the Middle East. You don't have to answer. I'm just curious. I find it interesting in lives or even the videos to be able to interact with some people from all the way on the other side of the world. There's some people that I talk to from the Philippines, and there's some people from Thailand, and they're big competition shooters. I'd tell you the name of their channel offhand, but I'd have to go through my stuff to find it. But it's kind of cool talking to these guys. I mean, for hours and hours through their videos or my videos, and then you have to sit and translate, use Google Translator to see what they're typing. But it's really cool talking to some of them guys. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Can you own any firearms in Dubai, or is it like strictly zero? Or can you do special licensing or something to be able to get them? George, welcome back. Only locals. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. The pistol on the left, the handgun, the black one, I assume. The black one on the left, it's a Shadow Systems MR920P Elite. It's basically a Glock 19 clone with a compensator. All right, Ghost, I appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't, give this channel a subscribe, would you, man? Lev, what's going on? Yeah, go spend some time with them. But thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thanks for leaving all the comments on the videos too. I didn't get through all of them, but I did see they're there. So it's got a flip up magnifier, and the optic is a Aimpoint M68, which works out to what is a Comp M2. I think is what the civilian term is, Comp M4. But that was one of optics that got issued. I tell you what, why don't you buy the Iranian Ramjet and I'll send you the shadow systems, and you can compare them and then send my gun back. I made up my mind, man. I'm not buying any more Glocks. I I have a lot of them, and the value for them right now isn't there, in my opinion. Right? Uh, they need to reconsider what they're doing to their frames, texture and wise, and they really need to become competitive with compensators or popple holes or anything like that. They're they're being left in the dust by these other manufacturers that are selling products as good or better, and they're coming with like the shadow system. It's coming with the comp or anything else. I do have a Beretta. I've had that actually for quite a while. I bet you probably 15 years or more. I'm left-handed, so I don't shoot it much. It breaks my grip with the transfer bar on the right-hand side. Um, I bought that when my oldest was still at home, and he was a teenager, and he was talking about joining the military. I figured we'd give him a benefit of, a little leg up and let him play with the U.S. service pistol as well as the U.S. service rifles. And he went to school instead of joining the service, but I own it. We shoot it once in a while. My son shoots it. My middle son here shoots it. Um, and I own it, so I'm not going to get rid of it. But it's definitely not, for me being left-handed shooter, my favorite firearm. There you go, D-Dog. Kid must be watching. Why, what's he up to?
701.
Yeah, there you go, D-Dog. We'll get you there. We'll get you there, and then I'm all in it for myself until I get my 25,000. That's my goal for this year. If by Christmas time this year I haven't hit 25,000 on my channel, I'll be done. Every year since I did my channel, I've set a goal to where I want it to be by a certain time, and I have met that goal each time. My goal going into this year was to basically double my channel, and when I set the goal, I mean we're off. We're making progress to it. I think if you do a giveaway, you'd have to do it off like Instagram or something. We've done a few things that way. Like I had a bucket of ammo a while back, and I told people if they guessed the exact number of rounds in there, I'd give them a Bass gift card. And I did get a winner on that, so that was all right. I was surprised at the number of guesses, and then out of the blue, one person came on there. They nailed it to the exact number, and I think it was like 794 rounds or something were in the container. Yeah. The long form stuff is, I don't know. I should do it, and we're talking even like the gun reviews or the unboxing. I don't know. I like to show my kids shooting. That's what I like to do. Just us going out and having a good time. I like to share that with people. Like doing reviews or the unboxings. I don't know. I don't have the patience for it. My time is pretty limited. So we go out, we shoot, and just spend all the time out there shooting, trying to do something else. Uh, I don't know, maybe someday, but I'm gonna be having to make more money doing this to justify it. The green grips are from Hogue, what is it, Hogue, I believe is how you spell it. They were grips that they were making for a while. I don't know if they still make them or not. It's kind of hard to see them. It's little zombies in there. I actually have a set of grips like that for one of my Berettas too, but they're black and white. Yeah, I think you were saying that you really like the 92X. They're nice. I mean, they're nice guns. I have looked at them. I've never shot one, but I have looked at them. But I think, Jonah, when we were talking, didn't I tell you? I'm pretty sure I told you I had a Beretta. What grand powers did you get the A3? I've been looking at them myself. It's a roller delayed gun. Yeah, I thought so. They're nice. Bertas are all right. I mean, just being left-handed, they cause problems for me. Yeah, the Strybog A3s, I like them. I've been looking at them. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I have some other things in front of it. Did you get the carbine, the 16-inch barrel, or did you get the pistol variant? That was what I was planning on doing with it, was a PCC. I bought that MP5 clone, and I like the way it feels, but I don't know. It's maybe not quite what I want. I've been looking at the Strybogs. Uh, I can get I don't know what they call the very first ones, just the blowback, if it's A1 or whatever, but the A3s, they're roller delayed. Um, I haven't had one come through the store yet. I did talk to Vince, who runs the store, and told him if and when one does show up, I'll buy it, but do not order me the gun just to order me a gun. So at some point here, I'm going to walk in there and there's going to be one sitting there, or I'm going to get a phone call. But I give him a list of the firearms that I intend to purchase. So he's got generally a list of 4 or 5 guns sitting there for me. So when one gets checked off the list, he'll check availability. If he can get it, he'll get it. And I'll get a phone call and say, hey, your next gun is here. That's why, like, I was telling you about that Zev Hypercomp, and I was telling you about the Kimber Y2K. Them are waiting for me. It's not a P80. It's a Shadow Systems MR920P. You got the 8-inch. I assume you put a pistol brace on it then. So how's the trigger? How's it shoot? I want to know that. The texturing on that grip for the Shadow Systems, I actually really like that. It's exactly what it should be. It grips your hand, it doesn't slide around, and it's not cutting you up at all. They did a good job. Shadow System has grown on me. 3 months ago, I would have never considered owning one. I've looked at them. I just passed on them. With the purchase of this one, it was for Ammo Alchemist. Good to see you back. I was trying to talk to you before, and you must have dipped out on me. I see what kind of friend I got there, but it's good to see you come back. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I picked it up. I picked up the Shadow System for my daughter. She'll be shooting that this year. And my requirement, I didn't know what kind of gun I wanted, but my requirement was this. This is what I was looking for. I was looking for something in a Glock 19 frame size. I was looking for something that was optics cut ready. And I was looking for something that had a compensator. And when we checked all the boxes, the Shadow System is pretty much the only gun that fit all the boxes. Finishing up service calls. Man, on a Sunday, making that money, huh? But yeah, ammo, we hit 2,600 rounds now in the Shadow System. It's been 100%, no issues of any kind, with the exception of I had some cartridges we tried last night with the foreign primers. Remember, I think I was telling you too that they striker fired guns don't like them primers. And I tried some last night just to see if it would run it. And I did get, I don't know, half dozen rounds or so that did not ignite the first whack on them. So, you eject them out, you reload them, they went off. But I knew that that was the case already. All of my other striker fired guns do the same thing with them primers. But on a hammer fired gun, they pop 100% of the time. Yeah, you got to make that money, man. Uh, I don't blame anybody for doing a job, especially that's your job, right? You're kind of at somebody's will and call. When they need you, they need you. I know if I had electrical issues or heating issues, and I was calling people like, "Hey, call us back on Monday or something," I'd keep calling until I found somebody that showed up. So federal primers are great. Uh, they're one of softer primers out there, and that's what we'll run in this for my daughter. As we'll run federal primers. I still have a few thousand downstairs, so we'll get some more. Winchester usually work really well for us too. CCI, uh, that's usually one that we have a lot of failure ignites with. Jacob, I appreciate it. I guess too, if I didn't realize that we were gonna have issues with that stuff, it would have maybe bothered me. But I know that the that's an issue. That is a Springfield Hellion. CCI is probably, if I show up and I have a choice of Remington, Federal, CCI, or Winchester, I generally will take Federal. Then I'll choose Winchester. Um, between CCI and Remington, it's tough. I think I get more consistent velocities out of CCI when we chronograph them. My standard deviation is lower, but Remington, I think Remington is hardness. I get better luck with them over CCI. CCI is usually the worst for ignition. Yeah, CDOT, I'm sure they are. Get them. Yeah. Text your mom, let her know I need socks too.
Okay.
If she hasn't done any laundry yet, she can get her ass down there and do some fucking laundry. The one with the red dot is a Springfield Hellion, correct? Yeah, I'm sure. All pea shooters. I mean, they're not even real, right? They just look like they're all rubber.
They're all water guns.
They're all water guns. The HKG3's, it's a battle rifle. They have a fluted chamber. They're chrome line. I mean, they shoot 7.62. It's a battle rifle. Taco Bell. Taco. Yeah, good airsoft collection. You got me. Busted me out. All water guns. Fucking want to get Bucky and Naked and wrestling. Uh, yeah, I get some strikes. I think the most overrated pistol, in my opinion, is D-Dog, brace yourself for this. I think it's going to be that Canic TTI. But I don't actually own one, so I could be completely off base on that. So there's three 1911s. One's a 22, the other two are 45 ACP. The one on the bottom, the black one, is a German Sport Guns 22. It's just a 22, nothing fancy. The one on top of that in the middle is one that I built. It started life as a Series 80 Colt 1911 government model. I built that when I was in school for machining. And it was a project. I did all the mill work there. I did the mill work on the slide, all kinds of stuff that way. And then the one on top of that's another gun I built. It's a Viking Combat slide with an Olympic Arms frame. And I did the same mill work there. I cut the beaver tail. I did the slide work. I cut the front cock and serrations. I milled the slide to be able to put them iron sights in there and stuff. Gun shows are always fun, especially if you go to a lot of them and you get to know the people, because then you get the stuff that they can't put out on the table. I appreciate it. Excuse you. It's a German in you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should have your mom go get some angouzi and some sauerkraut. The rifle on the right hand side is an AK. It's the only custom AK I have. Everything else is stock. I keep getting asked if I have AKs or anything like that, and that's why we busted that one out. It's not a fancy gun. It's not expensive. The only reason I still have it is we tried to melt it down, and it survived. And because it survived, it's still here. I'm trying to sign up for some Clash Bash, it's AK style competitions, and that was actually what I put that gun together for. Yeah, I had one of their milled AKs a while ago. I think it was like a C93, if that's right. Is when they first came out with them. It was decent. I actually ended up trading that for a ZX9R Ninja for a drag bike. But it was okay. It shot good. I liked the milled receiver. It was heavy. I haven't been to a gun show ammo now in, I'll bet you 3 years. It used to be my winter thing. No, I don't. Only Walther I own is a P22. I've looked at them. I was actually going to buy my daughter a Walther instead of the Shadow Systems, but I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't care really for the way they fit your hand. We used to do all the gun show circuits in the state. It was always a winter thing. It's something to go kill a Saturday on. And pretty much in the winter months, somewhere in the state always has a gun show. So we'd go. It was take a drive. Sometimes it was, a few hours away. Sometimes it was an hour away. Sometimes it was, half hour away. But you drive, you go wander through the gun show, you usually find something. You take the family out for lunch, and you come home and it kills a Saturday. But we haven't really done that in years now. The last couple I did go to, and like I said, it's been a couple years, but there wasn't anything there. 1,001 cheap AR builds, and then you get your normal bolt guns or something that are all beat to shit. Wasn't really any mill surplus, and what was there for mill surplus? I mean, you might as well go buy a used car for what they were asking for it.
Damn, we missed the sign up for it.
What?
The Thunder on the Tundra.
Did we miss it?
Yeah, it was the 16th it opened. It's already full.
Well, I guess we're not shooting a Clash Bash this year either. I have quite a few Glocks. You think of the PSA X9. That's the double stack 1911, right? Look it up, PSA X9. I think that's the double stack 1911. So PSA products and me, I bought my kid one of their daggers when it first came out, and it bulges brass. And I tried contacting the company a dozen different times. I called, I sent emails, and I never got a single response from them. When I call, they always, leave a voicemail and we'll call you back. They never called me back. So because they wouldn't return phone calls, I will not do business with PSA. And it's unfortunate. They have some stuff that I would have liked to have checked out, but it's any company out there is willing to sell you a product, but if a company's not willing to stand behind their product and take care of things, then they don't deserve my business. They just don't. I'm 99% certain that's their double stack 1911.
Yeah, I'm trying.
They're not even gonna have it on the product line. It's a new product development. Oh, their MP7 clone. I do know what you're talking about, and I didn't look at it enough to really offer any kind of opinion. I think if they come out with them, they'll sell them, but for me, that's not something that really interests me. I think a lot of their product line is hit or miss. You either get a good one or you get trash. And I'm okay, right? I spend good money on a gun and it's got issues. That's not unfortunate. But if I send it back or I get a hold of the company and they fix it, hey, great, no big deal. I'm not going to feel bad about it. But when you try to contact them about something that's seriously wrong and could cause harm, and they won't even return a phone call or an email, that makes me not want to buy anything else from them. Which AR-15 do you have of theirs? I think the one thing that PSA has going for them is their products are affordable, and that lets a lot of people get into trying firearms or getting into the hobby before going all in. Yeah, they believe in beta testing on their customers. Every company out there, though, they do the same thing. They issue stuff. Look at the Springfield Prodigy, right? They issued the gun and have had nothing in their first generations, nothing but problems with them. And knowing they had problems, they still released them and sold them to get them out there and make money. And now they come out with their other revisions on them, and they fixed a lot of the issues. But all these guys who spent their hard-earned money and gave a company a try, they got shafted in it, you know, and that's kind of not right either. Now, if they offered you to be able to send their gun in and um, some of the revisions they had in it, they just handled here, send it in, we'll take care of it. Then it's worth doing the money. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not right, man. If you're gonna sell products and you're gonna let people do it for their beta testing, then it should be significantly cheaper than what an actual market price should be. At School of American Riflemen, um, he's got a YouTube channel. He's kind of I don't know how I want to put it, the the gun guru as far as AR-15s. I know he's got in PSA products, and he did like a sample size of 5, and 3 of the 5 had serious issues, and 2 of them were good. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I think a PSA upper, if you were going out and maybe you had like a forced reset trigger or a bump stock or a binary trigger, and you just wanted something to throw rounds down range and abuse it, that would be a good uh, case scenario for buying something like that. I would assume that if you're building it, you have a case gauge, so you're checking the headspace on them. I know that was one of the issues that they found with them is there was a lot of variance in headspace, and some of them passed and some of them didn't. Um, so I don't know if you check the headspace on an AR when you assemble it or not, but it's good practice to do it. Another problem I saw a lot was the front sights were misaligned; they weren't straight. I think them were pretty much the two big ones that um, School of American Rifle was finding, was crooked sight blocks, uh, and then headspace, and then he had some issues with their bolt carriers too, where they weren't properly staked, and um, I think one of them had some issues with the chrome lining inside of the bolt carrier. It was flaking off on a brand new rifle. Did you tell her
Yeah.
wash some socks?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't tread on me. Yeah, it's as long as you're checking that stuff, run it. You know, I mean, I think for the money, it's probably a good option. Cheap guns that I've tried that I would tell people stay away from. I bought a Bear Creek Arsenal upper. That was total dog shit. Uh, the what is it? Delton uppers. I've bought a few of them over the years, and them were strictly because we were running them on full auto, uh, and they were cheap, a couple $100 for the whole upper, and them actually worked. They actually shot okay. I do have a Desert Eagle. I do 1911's all right. I got a few, nothing crazy, just a couple. Yeah, absolute trash. Um, my opinion about a 1911 for self-defense, it's gonna work. I do have a Mac 11 too. Uh, if you go to my channel, I actually have a video on their bump fire, and I put it up yesterday or Friday. A 1911 for carrying like concealed carry. They're big, they're heavy. I did carry one at one point, and every once in a while, I would flip the manual safety into the off position while I was carrying it. The gun was still safe. It was still safe to carry. 'Cause you have to pull the grip safety or squeeze the gun for the grip safety to disengage, to be able to fire it. But personally, I thought they were heavy. Uh, and for 7 or 8 round capacity, there's a whole lot of better options out there. So 2011 is going to be 9mm. And again, for concealed carry, it's a very wide gun to carry concealed. The best firearm for self-protection or self-defense is the one that you have with you. And if it's a big gun, it's hard to get in and out of cars with it or something. You may not carry it all the time. Yeah, a lot of them guns, the radicals or whatever, I mean, it's not something I have any experience with, but just to have it to melt it down, you know, there's something to be said for that. I'd rather wreck a couple $100 upper than, have something with a nice barrel that I'm gonna burn up. It would be a good bedside gun. I won't disagree with that. I think a 2011 over like a Glock, if you're going to have it for home protection, a Glock would be a better option because of reliability. Um, but if all you have is a 2011, then by all means, it's going to work, right? Putting a hole in somebody is putting a hole in somebody. Well, the point of showing guns is exactly what you're doing right now. It's to get people to come into a live stream to leave a comment, which in terms of things is helping my YouTube algorithm, and it's also giving me watch hours. And the whole core of that, or whole reason of that, is to get paid. I mean, I want to get paid for doing the stuff I'm doing for free. I think a lot of people have had mixed reviews over Berettas. Um, some people like them, some don't. For reliability, it's a pretty reliable firearm. You can't take that away from Beretta. Most of them are pretty reliable. Being an open top pistol, uh, they run. I mean, you're not getting double feeds with them and stuff because the top of the gun is open. Yeah, same thing. A lot of people like the SIGs. Um, I'm not a super big fan of SIG products. So them are inserts for the grip. That's a Troy uh, Alpha Rail Battle Rail, and it's a rubber insert. So when you're shooting, because it's a metal forearm, when you're shooting the gun, you burn your hand on a metal forearm, right? So them are a high temperature. It lets you enables you to keep gripping that forearm even after long sustained fire, so you don't burn yourself. That's the purpose of them. Just gives you something to get a hold of so you're not burning your hand. I don't have any experience with the macro. Again, I know a lot of people really like them. It just, you know, I can only give opinions based on my experience. Uh, I mean, what I like, and I buy. If it doesn't fit my hand, if it doesn't pull up nice, if it's not reliable, then I don't have an interest in them. Um, it's hard when you start owning multiple firearms to have things that you shoot really well. So I have a lot of Glocks. I have a lot of CZs, and the reason is because they all shoot or feel more or less the same. So I may not shoot my carry gun every time, but if I'm shooting another Glock, then it's similar enough that uh, I can be consistent with it. Um, B Kizzle, I appreciate your subscribe. If you're subscribed to my channel, though, if you guys haven't, please hit the sub and do me a solid. Dig Dog Tactical there, I'm trying to help him get up to his 1K subs. So if you could check out his channel and give him a subscribe too, I'd appreciate it very much. Yeah, the CZ Ergos, they're spot on. Um, some people they don't work for them. I mean, every gun is different. Every gun has a different grip angle, a different width. Um, some are good and some are bad. Some people like them, some don't. That's why that's why you just have to go out and try something. One thing I've learned, right? Take this out of everything I could ever say about firearms. Just because you want to like a gun, just because it looks cool, it feels cool, and everybody else likes it, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I've had a lot of guns over the years that I really wanted to like or really wanted to enjoy, and it didn't work for me. It didn't. I wasn't accurate with it or whatever reason. So just know that in the back of your head that you may like it, you may like the way it looks, you may like the way it feels, and you go out and start shooting it, and you can't hit shit with it. Uh, so move on to another platform. Don't look back. Yeah, a lot of people have. I know a few people that were really into carrying that gun, and once they started actually shooting it, they weren't good with it. One guy I'm pretty good friends with, he still carries it, and we went out. I've let him shoot my Glock, and he shoots the Glock way better. And you know, just bad aim. No, some guns just they don't work for you, man. It just doesn't. If one gun worked for everybody, there'd only be one gun out there. Everybody fits and shoots differently. How people hold it. I mean, can you learn to shoot a gun well? Sure, absolutely. But picking up a gun and being accurate with it should be very easily. It should be intuitive. Uh, no, it's not a Super Red Hawk. It's actually a Ruger single six convertible. It's just a 22 long rifle with the conversion barrel to be able to shoot 22 Magnum as well. Um, the I don't have any Glocks on the table. The polymer firearm on there is a Shadow Systems. It's the MR920P. The Glock 43, though, I do have 43, two 43Xs, and that's another gun that I really wanted to like. I really wanted to enjoy, uh, but I just don't. That's why I bought two when I bought it. I thought it would be great. It's just that's not a gun for me. I stick with my Glock 26. Uh, no, he had a Springfield Hellcat Pro, and then he would shoot my Glock 26, and that my Glock 26 he would shoot better. Outdoors with Daniel, I appreciate you hitting the sub button. If you go into my videos and leave me a comment in one of the shorts and tell me you were in the live, I'll return the favor. I'll sub to your channel. Pawn shops can be a great place to find some guns. I've bought a few from them over the years, but you got to be careful with what you're buying. the local pawn shop here in town right now, they have a German Luger, uh, and I want to buy it in the worst way, but they want a little too much for it. I have a lot of dream guns. Um, One I'd really like to get, I would like to get a Infinity 2011. They're about 8-9 grand. I really, at some point, I'll get one. I would really like to get one of the older STI open race guns. I should have bought one of them years ago, and I just never did. Yeah, Infinity. Someday I'll have one. You know, my thing right now is I have 3 kids that I sponsor for shooting. I call my oldest a kid, and he's not. He's 24, but I pay for everything when we go shooting. I pay for our food. I pay, for the ammunition. I pay for the holsters, the mag pouches, the belt setups, the guns, the ammunition, the match fees, and I'm 100% okay with it. I enjoy it. I'm glad that I get my oldest to come along. Um, and even at that, he still doesn't come every weekend or nothing. But uh, at some point, my kids will all be grown, and rather than buying them, expensive guns, I'll get my Infinity then. I was looking at an Infinity when I bought my Checkmate, and I made the decision because I wanted a Barrett too, that I could either spend the money that I was paying for my Barrett and buy an Infinity, or I could buy my Barrett and Checkmate. And for me at that time, and I would still probably do it right now, I bought the Barrett and the Checkmate, and I still had money left over. I appreciate it. It's a it's a nice shooting gun. I don't shoot it as much as I should, um, but I enjoy shooting it. It's got a nice trigger on it. It's got an adjustable sight, and then it's got both cylinders, so I can shoot 22 Magnum or 22 long rifle. I think that's about what they go for, is around 390, 400. I'm not a fan of the staccato XCs. I'm not a fan of staccato as a whole, to be honest. I've never once they switched from STI and the companies broke up, they went their own ways. Uh, I've never much cared for staccato. I think they're overpriced for what they actually are, and I get it. They can sell them. They're selling them. They're making money off of them, but I don't think you're getting what you're paying for when you buy them. I know when I first started shooting USPSA, you look at these guys and they were running the Infinities or they're running SVDs, or the STIs. And I remember, being 20 some years old going, man, I'd love to have one of them guns someday. And I mean, it took me a while to get into open division, but I do enjoy it. When I was pricing the stuff out and I was figuring out what I wanted to do, if I wanted my Barrett or whatever, I was even looking at like the Masterpiece arms, and them are okay. Uh, and I have not heard anything bad about them or anything else, but I don't know. I ended up buying the Checkmate, uh, because I really like the way CZ feels in the hand. I like the way they feel, and I don't know. I would buy them again. I have 2 of them. I really wanted a Parrot in the worst way, but I wasn't able to get a hold of one. And when I bought the second one, I was still trying real hard to get a Parrot, and It just didn't happen. Yeah, I would say you should feel lucky about it. Open to, we were talking about like the Shadow 2 being a entry level budget competition gun. A lot of people will look up to that and it's the greatest thing ever and it's everything and more they want. And the Checkmate's the same thing, right? It's an entry level budget open gun. It's not an $8,000 gun. And everybody looks at you and they kind of look up to it like, man, I wish I could have that gun and shoot. But then you have the guys that are running the Infinities and they look down on you. They're like, yeah, you got an entry level budget gun. And you do, you know. It doesn't mean that that entry level budget gun is trash by any means. And it doesn't mean that people that own them aren't glad to have them. But if we could be running, that eight or nine or $10,000 Infinity, we would. One thing I will say is all them guys running them $8,000-$9,000 Infinities, they very rarely make it through an entire match without any problems. They're the guys that are sitting at the table after every stage, cleaning their magazines and wiping their gun out. You know, I go thousands of rounds and don't clean my gun, and it still runs. So there's something to be said for that. And, their gun goes down in a match. You see them packing up and going home. My gun goes down in a match. I go to the car and I get my backup Checkmate. So there's something to be said for that too. I will at some point. I keep looking at them, and I'd want the 38 Super. I wouldn't want another 9mm Major. In time. I mean, the thing with the Checkmate is I have the insert for my holsters, my mag pouches. I have all my magazines, and to have to start over, I mean, $170 for an MPX magazine is kind of a hard pill to swallow. That's why I intend fully to shoot another year at least with my open division pistol before I switch to something else. And I have other guns like the DWX that I think I would probably shoot better. Uh, I'd probably even shoot it faster. I'm a little slow with the Checkmate, but how come you haven't gotten one of them Masterpiece arms? I'd like to see some more companies come out with some options around that $3,000 range. So that double Alpha Racer holster I have too, you just change the blocks. It's a $50 for the blocks. You're gonna get a Masterpiece arms this year? You gonna get the 38 Super? Or are you gonna do a 9 Major? Well, it comes with all the inserts. I'll have to look at it. I guess I've never really looked at them that close. I like the double Alpha Racer holsters. They're nice. Oh, you're not getting the open. Pull up the DS9. Let me see what that one is.
Okay.
I think I know what it is. I'm gonna look though. That's just their limited optics type setup, right? stainless steel. It's kind of a square cut gun. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Yep. Yeah, a bunch of custom slide working. Yeah, them are slick. Yep, that's exactly what I thought it was. And I said the absolute next gun I buy is one for my son. That's the division I shoot. That's the division D-Dog shoots. Oh, I think he shoots like carry optics and stuff too, but I shoot open division, 9mm major. Oh, with the DS 1911. So you can shoot open division with any gun you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific setup. It's the division is designed for race guns, big compensators, frame mounted optics. But like the Shadow Systems MR 920p that's sitting on the table, and in order to compete with that in USPSA, that would be competing in open division. And I know that that's the gun my daughter will use this year, but she's not out there to win it. She's just out there to shoot it. I'd have to look at what the actual Navy revolver is. I know, it's a ball and cap pistol, and I do have a ball and cap, but I'm not sure if it's the Navy or the Army. The thing with open division Patriot is it's intended for big compensators, and then the frame mounted optics. You'd be disadvantaged to try and compete in that, but yeah. Well, you get some benefit, you just don't get the benefit that you should. Right, that's what open division is. Compensators, popple holes, and frame mounted optics. For instance, though, that Staccato XC, it's a 9mm minor gun, and people put red dots on the slide, but because of the compensator, they're forced to run an open division. They're scored differently because they're minor scoring instead of major scoring.
Yeah, I think we have the Navy.
Yeah, we got the Navy.
Yeah.
So, answer to your question about the Navy revolver, yeah, my son looked it up while we're sitting here. Mine is the Navy. I've never shot it, so I can't give you any experience with it. It was given to me as a gift from my sister. What else are you up to, Patriot? What time are you doing your live later? I'll jump on that. It's usually about 8 o'clock because I'm always going up there to take a shower and head to bed. I was arguing with a bunch of people on a video Ben Stoger did. His people were on there, and he was talking about his Staccato XC. But he was on there, and people were crying and pissing and moaning because they all want to run compensators. They don't want to shoot open division because they're minor scoring. Yeah, there's definitely a couple long guns up there. They don't stick out as much as the rest. No, I'm not in California. I don't think you can have the AK or the Springfield Hellion in California. I probably won't catch you at 7. It'll be a little after 8 when I head up. I usually go up about 8:30, take my shower, and then lay down, and then I usually sit there with you. So we should talk about them Swedish Mosen Nagants, huh? I told you that would be a thing forever. Did that guy ever come back to any other your videos or lives, or did I spoil him for life? I tainted him.
Not quite sure.
Oh, so this is usually where Patriot Arms will start playing his guitar, and I give him credit because I don't do that. I just sit here and look stupid, some weirdo in the corner, staring at a table full of guns. Kind of story of my life, though. Just the weirdo in the corner with a bunch of guns. I don't know what you're asking, WTF. Maybe we tell friends. What is this? I'm not sure what you're saying this is. I'm gonna guess this is a phone in your hand on YouTube. Yeah, I wish you could too, man. I would love to sit here and go through what a gun is, strip it down, talk about the parts, uh, all that type of stuff. But I don't know, man. I get it. I understand why they don't want you handling firearms on lives. I mean, things happen. Look at all these fools who are, having accidental discharges, or they're showing shorts and they're racking rounds out. So it kind of makes sense. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of lame too. But it'd be cool to be able to sit here and have a dozen different guns and get the trigger pull gauge out and talk about the different pull weights. What guns do I have? The answer to that would be all of them.
Everything from 17 up to 50 PMG.
So there's a lot of stuff I don't have, different manufacturers that I don't own, but I have a pretty big variety of firearms in a lot of calibers. Like my son just said, we own everything from a 17 HMR up to 50 BMG. Yep, you got me. They're all airsoft. They're actually all replica water gun, squirt guns. Nothing to see here. I'm not sure what do you mean, like a ghost pistol. What's a ghost pistol? Oh, you mean a ghost gun? So you can't call it. Ghost guns aren't illegal, and the term ghost gun was a political term used to describe a PMF. A PMF is a privately manufactured firearm. So, do I own privately manufactured firearms? Yeah, I have several. Do I have a P80, which is probably more what you're familiar with, a ghost gun P80? No, I don't own any P80s. By the time I spend the money to buy a P80 kit, I can just buy the real thing. I'm free white and over 21. I have no criminal convictions that would bar me from owning a firearm. So I'm not going to pay extra money to have something that does not have a serial number. that make sense? I hope. Yeah, they're all real firearms. Yeah. I agree with that. It's called natural selection. Things have a way of kind of working themselves out. Your mom's sister's in the Air Force. Okay. Crunch, good to see you. Oh, I don't know what you're referring to that. I do not own any Glock 19s. No, I've never seen a black coated spear gold dot. You used to see the black talons a lot. They were a Winchester Ranger bullet that had a black Teflon coating. They had a horrible um, thing. They were being called cop killer bullets, and they were taken off of the market. And this is like early 90s, late 80s. And all it was is a hollow point bullet, but uh, they felt that the Teflon coating that was being sprayed on them made them somehow more likely to penetrate body armor, which was never the case. But I've never seen, yeah, yeah, the black talons. I've never seen a coated spear gold dot. I'll have to check them out. You should have bought them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with buying ammunition. There was nothing that fancy about the black talons. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't anything crazy, but it just got a bad reputation. Uh, but I mean, I have a few boxes of 9mm. I have a few boxes of 45. No, I don't have an RPG, but I would prefer, and this is what I carry, is I still prefer Hydra Shocks. I've carried that bullet for decades now. I'm comfortable with it. I know where they shoot. I know what guns of mine shoot them really well, and they're my carry guns. So I'm kind of old school and refuse to do something else because I've had that cartridge for so long, and they work. They work for me. I'm not changing. Don't get me wrong. If I could own an RPG and it was affordable, I'd own one. Absolutely. I think that'd be all kinds of fun. You know, and in America, if you're willing to do your paperwork, you can legally buy them, you can own them, you can possess them, but it's an expensive item to have, and uh, there's definitely federal paperwork you have to do. Oh, yeah, I have to start playing guitar. That's my guitar sounds. But yeah, that's what I know. Not much of anything really. Sure, you can have any pistol you want. You just have to go to the store and buy it. Just start scratching on the plate. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to do a live. I don't want to just sit here and ramble to myself. Um, so there's dead time and space. Uh, I know some people, they do better jobs of filling that. I maybe I should try harder and get better. I tell you what, next time I do a live, I'm gonna have a bunch of jokes on hand, and when I get this dead space and nobody's really talking, I'll just start telling jokes. Um, maybe that's how we'll handle that in the future. So you don't want to hear some stupid jokes? I think that'd be funny. We're gonna do that because it'd be funny. I appreciate it. So I haven't seen you in the comments before. Every time I do a live, I get people ask me, do you own this gun or do you own that gun? So when I do the next live, I try to show the guns I was being asked about in the last live. The last one, actually the last couple, I've had a lot of people asking if I own an AK. You know, obviously I own an AK. I've had people ask me about different bullpup rifles, and I don't have very many. I only have a couple. But I made sure I got that out here this time. And I always seem to get a lot of questions about 45s or 1911s. So I have three 1911s, one in 22, two in 45, and that's why them are out here. I wasn't up to anything today. I was sitting here just hanging out with my kid, watching YouTube, and had the realization if we're going to just sit here and do absolutely nothing at all because it's too damn cold, that we might as well jump on and do a live. Stiffer page.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he does have a lot of content. Are you Stiffer, are you still here? Because now I got your page pulled up. All right, man. This is clearly stuff you're manufacturing? I can't open any of this stuff up while I'm on live because they'll give me a
What?
strike for audio. But I'm gonna check this out. But we can still talk. I see you. Looks like you got video Cerakoting, right?
Well, it can play because it's connected to my earbud, so you won't hear anything.
Are you manufacturing the slides? Orange Smoke, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Yes, they're all real. Monica, I'm sorry, the channel's for 18 and older. So if that is your age and not a typo, I'm gonna have to ask you to either not leave any more comments or to respect the 18 and older. So I'm assuming you meant to put 27 on there, right? Yeah, Stiffer. How about a sponsor? No, I'm kidding, man. No, I'm not. No, go mixed reactions. Hey, I would like to check out your products if this is stuff you're manufacturing, and you have contact information. I would love to be in touch with you and check some of your stuff out. If you want some, yeah, let's just leave it at that. I would like to check more of your products out. Are you manufacturing these slides or are you just finishing them? Subscribe to his channel so I can come back to it. Good looking, D-Dog. I wouldn't have even given that a thought to pull that up. I appreciate. He's got some cool looking shit on there.
Yeah.
Just do a Google search. See if I bet you if he has a channel showing all that, he probably has a website. Stiffer, if you're here, do you still got a website? 39 degrees and yeah, we actually mill them from 1714 stainless steel.
Page.
Oh, we're Wear your jersey.
Yeah, on his page he has all kinds of links.
Holy cow! You are on it, man. You have any guys shooting USPSA with your products? All the Cerakote work is done in-house, sanding, cleaning, curing, and shipping. Are you doing the manufacturing of the slides too, or are you finishing them? And if you are manufacturing the slides, what else? Pull up the website. Find a website. Rather than asking a bunch of questions, forcing someone to comment, I can just pull up the website and take a look.
Yeah, it's right for bars of steel.
I'm not blanking out, Stiffer. I'm actually on your website looking. Well, if any of you guys are on here and you're asking about the private manufactured firearms like the P80s, check out this Stiffer Manufacturing. What's his actual webpage? Let me find it. Stiffermanufacturing.com. Are you doing anything other than Glock slides? I would sound retarded to try to think of a question about electrical engineering because I have no questions. I don't know where you think guns are illegal, but sure, okay. Right now we have 5 models, Gen 1 through Gen 3, Glock 19, but we plan to move on to Glock 17 in March and April. I don't have any Glock 19 frames. Everything I have is a Glock 17 or a Glock 34 or a Glock 26. And I have some 43s, but my interest would be something for either the Glock 34 or Glock 17. I think the Glock 43 would probably be a big hit for you. Everybody seems to really gravitate towards them. No, I don't own any RPGs. Yep, I don't. Of course they are. They're little bitty guns. I don't know why you'd have to ask if somebody ships to Mars. Isn't that where you're at? How long have you... I set the phone down. How long have you been manufacturing slides? There you go, D-Dog. Are you guys being successful on it? Are you selling product? You still have this site?
Yeah, I can pull it back up.
Rough year, new. Where you at? Or the distributors and local stores. Do you do any mill work on other people's slides? If I sent just a regular non-optic slide, would you be able to mill that? Is that a service you guys offer? Or are you strictly doing your own manufacturing? So employees works. All slides are milled. American machines, American hands. We technically do, but for now we've decided not to. We have a few peers with horror stories. We'd like to do it someday, though. All right. I don't think anybody's gonna hate you for selling a 5.56. You know, you could just build another gun, right? They got some pretty cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
I see on the bottom of your page, Stiffer, it says Delta Team Tactical. Are you one of the affiliates or subsidiaries of that Delta Team Tactical? Because they make AR components, right? Uppers and lowers. Stripped upper is only like $100 if you get a good one. You could just buy another upper and then not even have to change your barrels. Okay. Yeah, David Defense. I know they're part of the Delta Team Tactical. I'm not familiar with MMC Armory. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Look up MMC Armory.
All right.
I'm not familiar with them. What made you guys get into the Glock slides manufacturing end of it? And I guess clearly you're gonna have some. Okay. I mean, what kind of manufacturing do you have other than Glock slides? I'm assuming you're probably a machine shop, right? I can't see you making a capital investment to do just Glock slides. Where did you guys cut your teeth? What type of work? Yeah, I have MMC pulled up right now. I'm looking at their stuff. Interesting. Nothing else. I'm glad you jumped on here and showed me some awareness to your products. I don't know if that was your intention or not, but there's a few other bigger channels, or I shouldn't say bigger, that's a lie. There's three other channels on here that are all really into firearms. So we'll be able to check their stuff out. Yeah, they have ported slides, man. I don't know if their barrels are ported. Do you have any pop-a-hold barrels? The Army was doing construction, model home, family. I was machinist. It brought us in, set up our own shop after that. All right, man. Huh. Interesting. Well, into this place, we'd like to expand into non-gun stuff eventually as well, just to diversify. Christopher, I appreciate the subscribe. New Hampshire, it's a long ways from me. What's your weather like in New Hampshire right now? I was just scrolling, saw you popped in. Stiffer, I appreciate it, man. Like, sincerely. D-Dog, good looking. I'm glad you pulled up this site. 'Cause I probably wouldn't have. Now I'm going to spend some time on it. If you guys are going to put out some stuff, do some popple holes and some barrels. That's kind of the trend everybody's going with, like 3 or 4 popple holes in the top of the barrel with an open cut slide. Yeah, it's cold here too. I mean, we're in the teens today. Patriot Arms, he's in Ohio. I think he said it was 30 in the mid 30s.
I see. Something like that.
So Stiffer, I don't know if you know anything about the competition end of things, for like action pistol shooting. If you can get into that market, that's that's where you're gonna get the most exposure. Uh, the Glock actions, for like IDPA, they're allowed to use guns with ports and comps. Uh, that's why I suggested that would be something you'd consider. Yeah, I have no problem if a cop sees any of this. Nothing I have is illegal. I'm free white and over 21, not a convicted felon or any drug convictions or anything like that. So everything I own is perfectly legal. Yeah, I'm 4 and I'm 17. What, where are they at? Stiffer Manufacturing, where's their facility at?
Uh,
Probably be in About Us or Contact Us. You're in Tucson, Arizona. There you go. My son was actually sitting next to me and he was looking for it. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, honestly, man, I never even heard of your company until you jumped on here. Uh, so I'm glad you did.
I mean, if you sponsor us, we'll bring more awareness to it.
Yeah. If you want to sponsor some shooters, we'll bring some more awareness. Everybody's gonna ask you that. Yeah, about some sponsors. But nah, in all seriousness, it's cool that you jumped on here. What was your MOS? Yeah, the Hellion's a cool rifle. It's got an interesting way. Your mom coming down here?
I think.
All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. Wife's coming downstairs. She's gonna start making supper. I'm sure she's gonna go do my laundry. I don't know which. She better be doing both. 68W Combat Medic. All right. So I'm gonna cut this off. Stiffer. I will be hitting your subscribe button, and I hope to chat with you some more. D-Dog, as always, I joined and jumped in the comments. Thank you for spending some time with me on Sunday. And I wish y'all best of luck at everything. So be good. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. Catch you next time.